Okay, so syncing 1 2 3 1 2 3. So it looks like we are live. Yeah, we're live right now. Let's just share this video right here. Truck Series playoffs. Come check out my predictions. Here we go. Posted. And now let's do the same here. See. Okay, so see here. Put this here and share. Wait, it didn't share? And there we go. And okay. Okay, so apologies for that. I was just sharing the stream here, so whoever wants to join can do it. First of all, apologies. I believe some apologies are in advance for just being like MIA for about a month or so. I know I said during the Olympic break that you would see some videos from me, and I didn't deliver on that promise. There's a good reason for that. My laptop just started acting up. And I had to take it to the tech repair shop. Some dude I know, he helped me with that. So unfortunately, I was unable to do any channel updates or any videos from me. That's why you didn't hear anything from me. Obviously there were some people who reached out to me on via DM on Instagram. They told me, hey, what's up? Why haven't you been posting videos? It's because I didn't have my laptop with me. That's why. So any apologies. So of course I apologize in advance. I got my laptop back just recently, but I obviously I don't want to start working on it so quickly, and just trying to get into the ease of things back, and just try not to overexert it. So yeah, that's what's been going on with me. But anyways, the Truck Series playoffs, during the time that I was MIA, the Truck Series regular season ended, and we got the playoffs in. I made some comments on Twitter saying how this will be like the easiest playoff predictions ever that I've ever done, and that the Championship 4, like it's like already there. Like the Championship 4 is just so predictable. So I'm gonna keep this prediction short and sweet. So let's get started. So we got 10 drivers here making it. Corey Heim, Taylor Gray, Tyler Ankrum, Christian Eckes, Nick Sanchez, Daniel Dye, Roger Caruth, Ty Majeski, Ben Rhodes, and Grant Enfinger, in no particular order, obviously. Those are the 10 drivers that made it to the playoffs. And first of all, I definitely struck out on some of these predictions. I said someone like, I definitely thought Ty Dillon would make it to the playoffs simply because, you know, he was a veteran and he had won the Truck Series before. I was way off on that. Most shockingly, though, Matt Crafton didn't make it. He's missed the playoffs for the first time in his career ever since the format was implemented. Stuart Friesen was also another guy that I thought would definitely make the playoffs. He obviously was inconsistent and didn't make it. Taylor Gray, he wasn't one of those guys that I had making it. Although in hindsight, I should have probably had him making the playoffs because he definitely looked pretty good on his part-time stint last season. So I definitely thought as a full-time driver, looking back, I definitely should have had him making the playoffs. Roger Caruth was definitely the big surprise of the season. I did not expect him to be as good as he was. I didn't even expect him to win a race. And even if he didn't win a race, he would have pointed his way in pretty comfortably. Definitely a pleasant surprise to watch this season. And of course, Daniel Dye. He was on the playoff bubble like all season long. And then on the last 4 races, he just turned it up, became a stage point earning machine. And that's how he just made it into the playoffs. Just barely took that spot away from Tanner Gray too. Tanner Gray just finding new ways to not make the playoffs, man. But yeah, these are the 10 drivers that will fight for the title. And like I said, the championship 4 is just really predictable. These playoffs as a whole are really predictable. This is going to be pretty easy. So first of all, round of 10, Milwaukee. Okay, I wanna get this right because I kind of don't know what the Truck Series schedule is looking like. I know they start today at Milwaukee. I believe the race starts at 4 p.m., which gives me plenty of time to get this video out of the way. So they start at Milwaukee. Look at the schedule here. So it's Milwaukee, Bristol, and Kansas. Yeah, for some reason I thought that Bristol was going to be the cutoff race. No, it's Kansas the cutoff race. Bristol is the second race of the round of 10. So Milwaukee, Bristol, and Kansas are the round of 10. Okay. The 2 drivers I have eliminated in this round are Daniel Dye and Taylor Gray. Okay, this is definitely Daniel Dye is definitely obvious. Like I said, he was a stage point machine towards the end of the regular season, but even with that extra effort that he had, he still barely made the playoffs by the skin of his teeth over Tanner Gray and Matt Crafton and Stuart Friesen. I'm tempted to say he is fodder, although he's an easy out, and tempted to say that, but in saying that, I could definitely see a world where he continues his hot streak and somehow manages to make it all the way to the round of 8. Obviously not that much of an accomplishment because there's only like 10 playoff drivers, but the fact that he made it into the playoffs and secured like a top 10 spot already, that's already a big accomplishment in and of itself. I just don't think Daniel Dye is going to make it in over any of these guys that I have made it. Obviously, some people are going to say Ben Rhodes could be eliminated first round, but because he's had a championship hangover basically all season long. But Ben Rhodes always finds a way. Like, at this point, I am done doubting Ben Rhodes. At this point, I just feel he's going to somehow finesse his way into the round of round of 8 at the very least. Same thing with all of these other guys. If the playoffs go as I expect, Daniel Dye is going to be like the odd man out simply because he's going to get stage points, but he's not going to get enough stage points to where I feel he's going to overtake any of these guys. He also enters the playoffs as a 10 seed, and he only got like 1 playoff point for finishing 10th in the regular season standing. So yeah, he already has a big hole at the start of a big hole to begin with. I just don't feel he's gonna make it that far. Um, Taylor Gray, kind of the same. He's kind of in the same boat. I definitely feel like he could make it to the round of 8. Like again, like I said, every single playoff driver has a case to at the very least make it to the round of 8. I just feel like Daniel Dye and Taylor Gray, they have the weakest case, and therefore I feel they're gonna be eliminated. But yeah, Taylor Gray, he definitely deserves to be in the round of 8. I just looking at the rest of the field here, like who am I gonna make it? Who am I gonna take out of these guys just to put Taylor Gray in? Raja Caruth, Ben Rhodes. There's not gonna be anyone. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. And while Taylor Gray has definitely shown that he can compete for wins at times and finish top 5s and top 10s, just rack them up. He's also had moments of inconsistency, especially towards the end of the regular season. Of course, some of that stuff, like what happened at Nashville with Ben Rhodes, that obviously wasn't his fault. But still, he just hasn't broken through and won a race. And people say that, even though people say that he's better than Tanner, I definitely think he is, because he has definitely managed to proven that he can run up front more consistently than Tanner. However, if he's not winning, until he doesn't win that first career race, I just don't think, I'm just not going to have him making it any further than this. I'm sorry. Like, all of these other guys, aside from Tyler Ankrum, obviously, they are proven winners. Oh, okay, scratch that. Tyler Ankrum actually won a race. Okay, I just had a smooth brain moment there. Ankrum actually won a race in his rookie year, but he has never won again. But he is a Truck Series race winner. So yeah, I was right in my original assessment. All of these other guys are proven winners. The two guys that I have right here are guys that have not won a Truck Series race yet, and I feel like this makes sense. It makes sense for me to put them here. Okay, so moving on, round of 8. I know I made a comment about Tyler Ankrum and how much I forgot that he had won a race. I'm gonna put him here. There's definitely a chance he could be eliminated in the first round along with Daniel Dye, but I just right now feel he has done. I just right now feel he's got a better case at making it to round of 8 than Taylor Gray. If only due to the fact that he started off the season hot, then he kind of fell out of favor as the season went on. But then towards the end, he just kind of recovered some of that early season magic, and he managed to point his way into the playoffs with one race left. So again, I feel like Ankrum, if only due to the fact that he has more playoff points and he is higher seated in the playoff grid than Taylor Gray, and also due to the fact that I feel like he's a little bit more consistent than Taylor Gray. Not to mention he has also won a truck race, but even though that was a long time ago, so he kind of knows how to get it done. But again, if you feel like Taylor Gray can make it over Ankrum, these two, I'm tempted to say these two are interchangeable. I just don't want to put two McAnally cars out in the first round after McAnally. They have been arguably the best Truck Series team overall. Unless you want to say Tricon Garage, but McAnally has been the best, in my opinion, the best team overall. As all of their full-time drivers make the playoffs. If only due to the fact that all of their full-time drivers make the playoffs, that's why I got McAnally as the best team in the Truck Series right now. Therefore, I do not want to have two of their three guys out in the first round. Therefore, I had Ankrum make it to round of 8 over Taylor Gray. But again, if you feel like Taylor Gray can make it over Ankrum, again, these two are interchangeable, honestly. I just had Ankrum in because I just liked what I saw from him more especially at the start of the regular season and towards the end of it, how he managed to rebound from that mid-season slump. And also, again, McAnally has been the best team in the Truck Series, so it just wouldn't feel right to have two of their three guys out in the first round. So, yeah. Ben Rhodes, I know I said that Ben Rhodes always finds a way to make it to the Championship 4. Look, this is not going to be the year. I know I've been betting against I know I've had like a trend of betting against Ben Rhodes, and he has aged really poorly, but trust me, believe me when I say this, this is not gonna be the year. I could have very easily put Ben Rhodes here, like out in the round of 10 over Taylor Gray, but Ben Rhodes has like his playoff resume is, he has a great playoff resume. You can make fun of his lack of career wins. He doesn't even have 10 career wins in the Truck Series, and he already has 2 titles. You can make fun of that whatever you want, but what you cannot make fun of is that Ben Rhodes, he always finds a way, and it's very funny because he doesn't advance through the playoffs by winning races, and he doesn't advance through the playoffs by just racking up the stage points or playoff points. Ben Rhodes' path to winning, it's just basically doing the bare minimum effort and just advancing. Like if the competition if the entire competition wrecks out, Ben Rhodes is just gonna take the 10th place finish, the 15th place finish, and move on. If all Ben Rhodes needs to advance to the next round of playoffs is like a 15th place or better to advance, he's just gonna run 15th and just take the playoff, take the pass to the next round, and that's it. Like it's like honestly very, I don't know, kind of underachieving, but if it works out for him, it's worked out for him. But unfortunately, with how top heavy this playoff grid is, that approach is not going to work out for Ben Rhodes. And the thing is, that 99 team has been very, very inconsistent. I know Ben Rhodes, he performs very well on the first few weeks after he gets a new mid-season crew chief and stuff like that. There's always something that changes with that 99 team, and they somehow always manage to get it done. Obviously, I don't think... Obviously, I'm not counting him out. He is definitely a dark horse contender for the championship for it, believe it or not, simply, if only because of the precedent that he has set. But if I was a betting man, as of right now, I would say that streak is broken. Roger Carruth, I'm surprised I went this long in this video without mentioning him. But yeah, Roger Carruth has been pretty solid, but honestly, that's about it. I don't see any chance at him making it to the championship 4, honestly. Unlike I see with Ben Rhodes or the next guy we're gonna talk about, which is Grant Enfinger. Yeah, the thing about Roger Carruth is, ever since that win at Las Vegas, he has been running like top 10, top 15. I very rarely see him racking up the top 5s. Like, the only race he ran up front was the race he won, which was at Las Vegas. Ever since then, he hasn't proven that he can run consistently up front. Even though that win got him a couple of nice playoff points. And those playoff points are definitely going to carry him into the next round. As long as he just doesn't have like a DNF or 2 in the first round, I definitely feel Roger Carruth is going to have an easy path to the round of 8. But that's where it stops for him. And the main reason is that if you look at all of the other guys in the round of 8, all of these guys have made it past, have had like playoff experience in the past. Like, this is the first taste of playoffs that Roger Carruth is gonna be running. And while he has enough to make it past the round of 10, simply because the other 2 guys are also first-time playoff drivers, but unlike Daniel Dye and Taylor Gray, like I said, Roger Carruth has won a race. That gives him some playoff points. That gives him some extra playoff points, some extra points cushion. I feel like that points cushion is going to carry him into round of 8, but after that, I feel like it stops there. And yeah, Grant Enfinger, like Ben Rhodes, Enfinger, I feel is a dark horse to make it to the championship 4. If only because the second half of the regular season, he has been running in the top 5 like no other. And also, the fact that Milwaukee is the playoff opener, and the fact that Enfinger can do some serious damage, as well as win it as well. Due to that fact, I feel like Enfinger can definitely steal a championship 4 spot from, I don't know, Nick Sanchez or Ty Majeski, I don't know. Same thing with Ben Rhodes. In the case of Ben Rhodes, I feel he's going to have to win one of the round of 8 races. In the case of Empfinger, I definitely feel he can point his way in if one of the two guys, especially if one of the Championship 4 guys that I have, they are going to, they fall apart in that round. But yeah. So I know I said Championship 4 is pretty predictable. It's honestly more of a Championship 4 plus 2 dark horses in Empfinger and Ben Rhodes. But like I said, if everything goes as I think it will, I definitely think these are gonna be the four guys. They have been the 4 best guys this season, in this regular season. The only 4 multi-time winners. I know there was some talk about a potential big 3 after Nick Sanchez won at Charlotte of him, Eckes, and Corey Haim. But then Ty Majeski caught fire late in the regular season, winning the last 2 races at IRP and Richmond. And now that big 3 has turned into a big 4. So, yeah, Corey Haim, Christian Eckes, Nick Sanchez, Ty Majeski is your Championship 4. I know, not surprising, considering these are the only 4 multi-time winners in this so far this season. But they have the combination of playoff points, and they also run pretty well at the tracks that are in the playoffs. I know Corey Haim won Bristol last year, a race that Eckes dominated. Christian Eckes now has the playoff points to actually survive a bad race or 2, like what happened at Talladega. He got eliminated at Homestead because of that penalty he got at Talladega, and he won Phoenix. So if he had made it to the championship race, he would have definitely won the title, or either that, or he would have been caught up in the mess that happened at the end of that wild race. But yeah, I even though this is very predictable, I feel this is gonna be a pretty nice race at Phoenix. Obviously, Sanchez, he's gonna enter the race as the underdog. Majeski is gonna be the dark horse. But it's always gonna be Haim and Eckes. Like every regular season, like this has been the story of the regular season so far. It's been Corey Haim versus Christian Eckes. I definitely think this is gonna be here. This is gonna continue here. And I know I said the championship 4 is very predictable, but I cannot say the same thing cannot be said for who I got as a champion, because picking between Corey Haim and Christian Eckes, I'm not gonna lie, I had a hard time doing that, because I definitely go back and forth between these two. Yeah, Corey Haim has more wins and he has more playoff points because of that, but Eckes won the regular season title, and he has been more consistent, a better average finish obviously, and has led more laps than Corey Haim. So these two guys, they definitely have a solid case. They're gonna run through the playoffs, even if they don't win to advance. They're gonna run top 5 and top 10 pretty consistently, to the point where they're gonna point their way in pretty comfortably with into the next round. They're just gonna run through the playoffs. The championship race, it's definitely gonna be a hard title between those two, because like I said, Eckes won Phoenix last year. A lot of people forget that because of what happened with Corey Haim and Hocevar. And speaking of Corey Haim, because before Hocevar wrecked him, Haim was the guy. He looked like the guy to beat. He was running away with the title before Hocevar wrecked him, and it sparked the whole chain reaction of events. Eckes won Phoenix, obviously, so these two guys, they definitely, like I said, it's gonna go back and forth. These two guys run well at Phoenix. Obviously, you cannot forget about Majeski, and of course Nick Sanchez being the underdog. You cannot forget about him either. Majeski and Sanchez are gonna have their moments, but this is gonna be the 11 versus 19, like it has been every season. So who I got as my champion? Like I said, right now, it's not a very clear-cut pick. I gotta wait to see how the playoffs unfold before I make a clear-cut pick. Right now, I'm gonna go with Corey Haim, simply because he's won more races, and as you know, as they say in NASCAR, winning solves everything. It's all about winning and stuff like that. Haim has proven that he can win more races, and this year, Josevar is not in the Truck Series anymore, so he no longer has that to worry about. He's gonna get his redemption, as of right now, obviously. Gotta wait and see how the rest of the playoffs unfold before I solidify my pick. But right now, I'm gonna say Corey Heim manages to get the job done, or get redemption from last year, I guess. But again, I gotta wait and see how these playoffs unfold. My picks, they're pretty much set in stone. The only pick that I'm like flip floppy is the champions pick. It's either Corey Heim or Christian Eckes. But again, I gotta see how these first few playoff races unfold before I make it my final pick. Sometimes I wake up and say it's Corey Heim. Sometimes I wake up and say other days I think maybe it's Eckes. But yeah, that's just how I feel right now. But yeah, those were my playoff predictions. Pretty straightforward. Yeah. But that's just what I'm working with right now. Anyways, I'm done.